Hello guys, Max2015, welcome back to another episode of Boom Beach, pushing victory points up to the leaderboards. It's been a very tough evening for me tonight. I've been playing for the past hour and a half and things are just so tough right now. I mean, I know I just made it past 1300 victory points yesterday, and maybe it was just a little bit of bad luck today, or maybe I'm just a bit off tonight, but man, the bases and the struggle I've been going through tonight has been pretty real. So to the point that I've gotten actually pretty frustrated at times, and I try to remain calm, but man, it's just very difficult when you just keep on losing and losing, battle after battle. So I started the rates tonight with about a little over 5 million gold, and you can see I'm down to just about 170,000 there. So there's still a couple of bases left on my map. Man, I tried some of these and they're just so tough. If you want to just see what they look like, maybe at a quick glance they don't look so tough, but man, they have a lot of boost though. Look at this base, that's 15,000 health over the regular 12,000 there. So I tried RZM, it didn't work, so maybe I'll try Heavy Zuka on it in a little bit. And then this one, Smile here, he has a ton of boost, a ton. You can see blue statues all over the place, and here, back there. So I don't know. And typically for this kind of setup I would have used TGRM, but man, this base just has so much ice that even if I could use TGRM, I won't have enough damage to take down the HQ at the very end, and I know I'm gonna time out. Things in fact have gotten so tough tonight that I actually got rid of one of my defensive building guardian damages, and I put down a troop health and I boosted it because I just needed the extra help. I mean, I was just doing very poorly tonight. But anyways, on the upside, I wanted to show you guys some of the replays of the wins so you can at least see. But look at this entire streak of losses in here, just loss after loss, and that's how I lost 4 million gold. But anyways, starting with Bonnie here. Bonnie is a base that actually I beat a couple of days ago, and I actually had that replay in one of my previous videos. So I remember it because I remember the name. And the funny thing, I used the exact same troops, which was TRM. Let me just lower the volume because I let it loud. I used TRM. I did the exact same thing I did in the previous video, and it worked just fine. I also noticed that the main weakness in this base is that he had no cannons, the regular cannons in the front of the beach. That's why all my tanks are able to survive. So by the time I make it to half the base, all of my tanks are still in play, which makes a huge difference. Because if you have 2 cannons in the front picking off 4 or 5 of the tanks, that's a big percentage of tank loss there. So I really noticed that made a big difference. So that's why I was able to take this double shield base so easily, and not the other one. I have another base with a double shield sitting in there, but I'll try that one later, maybe, if I can. But same thing, so once I clear this stuff in the front, I just have to flare to the left side, and you can tell I have so many tanks that I could just, even though there were 3 cannons in the top, throwing a little pack of critters there and shocking the boom cannon was all I needed. The tanks have enough damage to take down the boom cannon, and then look at them, those critters are really lasting a long time. So I'm able to reflare my tanks. You'll see that in a second there, right there, and then I think I flared them straight to the cannon just to take that out of play. Oh no, I just shocked it. Okay, so we did pretty well there. I'll just gonna speed it up 2 times there. Once the tanks take out the cannon, sorry, they'll just move around normally, because I also learned that the tank will start wrapping around the base, going for some of the defenses. So there's a little cluster of tanks on the left side there, parked just like they did last time. There were a couple of medkits because they were super red, and I think what is it? There's only like 2 medics left at this point. So, but anyways, once they took down the second rocket launcher, we just had to park them on the side, and I think I had enough for like a artillery or maybe 1 barrage, but I thought that the shot in there would do more help, so I kind of just shocked the mortar and the rocket in the back there. So that one was really nice. But after that, it sort of went downhill a little bit. So that was Bonnie's base, and then I started just losing against all these bases here. I think Ash 1982 here, I think he's a member of the originals. I'm not too sure, but I think it is. Michael Zhu here, he's he was a leftover base from last night because I ran out of my offensive boost and I didn't want to reboost again. So I kind of stopped playing, but I was able to take him down today. I had lost against him, in fact, so many times yesterday that I timed out on my... Not timed out, that I reached my attack limit. You know, that little message that tells you you've attacked too many times, come back tomorrow. I mean, how frustrating is it that you're trying and then... you know, they just kind of stop you. I mean, it's a good thing in a way, so because I was kind of rage diamonding at that point. But anyways, this time we were able to beat him in just one try. But I have to admit, the only reason why I was able to beat him tonight was because I had that extra little troop health guardian boosted in there. So otherwise, there was no way. You'll see by the end of it, I think I only had like a couple of Zuka shooting at the HQ. So anyways, attack the base head on, and then mainly was the focus was to take out the rocket launcher that was in the front. I did use GBE to take out the rocket and the shot launcher from the left side there. I smoked them. Right here, I didn't have gunboat energy for anything. That's why I had to flare them straight to the flamethrower first. I needed that thing to go out first because the flamethrower starts picking up heat around the Zukas. I was going to lose all of my Zukas, so that's why I flared them in there. Plus, they were standing right at the blind spot of the rocket launcher, so I didn't have to worry about it anymore. Once they took all of those down, they kind of started fanning out a bit. I needed to collect a little bit of gunboat energy, and now my biggest concern was that shock blaster in there. So I kind of used the gunboat energy ability as best as I could. I don't think I had enough for many shocks there. I did have to flare. Okay, I had enough for one shock there. The mortar was another concern. You see that mortar on the far left just shooting, throwing those shells and killing, you know, 3 or 4 Zukas at a time, so that didn't help. You can tell how the rifles, the few rifles in the front, were kind of lasting, and the only reason for that was because of the extra troop damage health. So anyways, we cleared enough of the defenses in there, and at this point I didn't know if I was going to win or not. Actually, I wasn't sure at all, mainly because of the 2 boom cannons, and boom cannons just have so much range. So I wasn't too sure, so all I did was have them in here while the Zukas were clearing some of these buildings. I was kind of trying to think what I should do. My original plan, of course, was to go for the shield on the top there, but with the sniper tower, flamethrower, and 3 rifles left, I didn't think it was a good idea, so I kind of just flared them down to the corner here, and this was a last, you know, desperate shot. I didn't know what was going to happen. I kind of hoped some of the defenses would be out of range, and, you know, to my surprise, and, you know, thanks to the Boom Beach gods, at least one of these bases kind of dropped down on the first try tonight. So I just sped it up just a little bit so you guys can see, but here, I'll just slow it back down. You can see that right there, the Zukas, well, all the troops kind of stayed at the blind spot. Not blind spot, at the out of range, and the base finally went down. But he had a lot of eyes. I think he had 5 eye statues. All 5 of them were boosted. Too bad you can't see because of the trees. I mean, if you have them boosted, just show them up, so I can show off how tough the base was. So that was Michael's base, and then Kazan Tatarstan base. Well, that was a long name. This base, I think it was fine. I took him down on the first shot, and the main reason here is because he didn't have that much eyes, really. He only had 3 eyes, and 4 eyes, sorry. But none of these were boosted. Only the one building health masterpiece was boosted, so that really wasn't too bad. Same as with any center base with CRZM. Take out the rocket and the shot launcher from one side, and then I flared them right to the blind spot of that other rocket launcher. Kind of misplaced some of the smoke, so I had to throw a 4th additional smoke in there to kind of cover the medics when they get there. Lost a couple of Zukas to those mines there, and then I threw some critters, shocked the 1 rocket launcher. I should have thrown the critters a little earlier because the shock launcher did take a shot, did send 1 shock out. I don't know. I hate when I have to say shock so many times. Then the shock blaster shocking and killing me. The shock launcher is about to come out, and I have to throw another shock. Just ridiculous. They need to. I hope Supercell doesn't put in another new troop or defense later on with the word shock in it, because I really won't be able to keep up. Anyways, I'm digressing, so I'm sorry. I apologize for that. The troops are starting to fan out. The base is starting to thin out a little bit, which was good, but there was still a lot of defenses to handle. This time, however, you can see there was still a lot of rifles left, And I don't think that was a smart idea for me to flare all the troops in there right in front of the flamethrower. And then at least I had enough to throw a medkit in there to kind of save some of these guys. And then they were able to take out the shock blaster, so that was good. Then I flared them to the corner, let the medics heal a little bit of these guys, and then take out the buildings in there, and then go for the shield at the end there. So unfortunately for this one time, the boom cannons in there, they were in range regardless of where I was going to park the troops. So the lucky thing here is that I had a pretty good amount of riflemen left, so that's what kind of saved this raid for me. So once the shield goes down, I'll just park them right down to the bottom right there. Look at that flamethrower just going at it. Jesus. The mortar was another thing of concern, but because of those 3 buildings that I took out in the back, including the shield, I had enough for 1 shock. So, I was able to buy my troops about 10 seconds of extra, shooting time there. So, yes, the 1 boom cannon and now the 2nd boom cannon, they were picking off some of the rifles, but at least the Zookas were, protected in the back there, and they were able to take down that HQ nicely. So I even had a few rifles left, survival rifles, so that was pretty nice. But again, this base didn't have a lot of ice boost, and had that defensive building damage masterpiece and guardian beam boosted, I would have probably lost to him a few times. So a little bit of luck helped. Now Ash's 1982's base, this base came down surprisingly easy once I used RZCM. The first few times I tried him, I was using heavy Zuka, smoking them to the corner, but I just got killed every single time, so that was not pleasant. He did have a pretty good number of ice. I think it was 4 ice statues, or maybe 5. I think 4 masterpieces boosted. So I just took out the 2 rocket launchers on the 2 ends, and the top and the bottom right. So I only had to deal with the one in the middle, and because I have all this troop health now, 1 rocket launcher is actually pretty manageable, so I didn't want to have to stress much about it. The other thing is that I do like when the shock blaster is behind the HQ, because it's so far away that I won't have to deal with it until most of the base is down. Having 2 shock launchers, 1 rocket launcher, flamethrowers, mortars, plus the shock blaster, everything shooting at you at the same time, it's deadly. So I don't mind when it's behind it. The only thing is that I have to be careful and I have to save my shocks, because once the troops get down there, I do need to have enough gunboat energy for a shock. So but you can see I didn't pay much attention to the shock launchers, because my troops have pretty decent health now. So yeah, they can keep on paralyzing them, but there weren't too many things shooting at us, mainly just the boom cannon and the little cannon there, which is fine, because I had a decent number of rifles left. So I kind of just let them eat the base away, little by little. I didn't have to throw 1 shock at the mortar, because mortars can just take out too many troops at the same time. So as soon as that shock launcher goes down, I flared them all the way back to the corner. It was a long walk, but that kind of gave my medics a little time to kind of heal some of those troops. We just go a little bit quicker here. So as they move up here, there we go. I threw an artillery right there, because those mines, when your troops are running so thin, 2 little clusters of mines like that have been spoiling my raid. So that's why. And I had a lot of gunboat energy. I forgot exactly how much, but I know I had probably like 60 or 70, which is quite a lot. So I was mainly saving it for the shocks, like I said. So I threw some critters that will help clear some of those mines. There's another pack there. Threw strategically to those 3 mines that just blew there. And now, you can tell there was a pretty good number of Zookas, a fair amount of rifles, and right there, through the first shock to the mortar and the shock blaster. And then I'm pretty sure I still had another shock saved up, so as that one ran out, just threw it right there behind it. And then once they cleared the second machine gun, I flared them straight to that shock blaster, because that was the main concern at that point, not so much the boom cannons. So you can tell once they take it off, they all focus on the HQ. Yeah, so that was fine. Actually, I actually managed to beat this base, and it wasn't too bad. Granted, now I have so much boost going on, though. I myself have 5 boosted statues, and it's not something I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to keep my base at always 4 offensive and 6 defense, but anyhow, desperate measures, desperate times call for desperate measures. Yes, that's the same. let me pause this for a second. So this was an interesting base because this is a base with no shield, where I ideally would have used heavy Zuka easily, but that the shock blaster and the hopper were placed so well that I couldn't find a spot to put them, because no matter where I put them, even if I shock around, those 3 rocket launchers would be right behind the Zukas. So his base layout was actually pretty great. I have to admit, really, really great. But then, I figure, oh, you know what? We can use warriors. This is the first time I use warriors to raid a real base in about 8 or 9 months. Without even joking, I only use warriors exclusively for Dr. T, because as you guys see, I only have, well, up until now, I only had the 4 offensive statues, and that's just not enough for warriors. They need a lot of gunboat energy to back them up, and I only had the 1 masterpiece, so even boosted, warriors couldn't do much for me. But this time, I thought, I'd give it a try, and it actually worked out really well. So just timing was everything in here. I just threw the critters to distract the shock launchers, 2 shocks around them, make sure the shock blaster and the hot pot were shocked, and you can watch those warriors actually took down the base so quickly. Granted, he only had the 2 ice statues. Oh no, 3. There's 1 more in here, but only 2 masterpieces were boosted. Nonetheless, I felt pretty good because I haven't used warriors in forever, and I'm not even exaggerating when I say that this is my first real PvP raid with warriors in probably 9 months to a year. Long time. And anyways, to finish off the video tonight, I wanted to show this one. This was a pretty tough base. You can tell this. 2, 4, 6 ice statues, all 6 of them boosted. He did have a laser beam, so I couldn't use rifle Zukas. I had to use heavy Zuka for this one. Fortunately, that laser beam was placed just out of range of the HQ, so when I parked all my troops, in the corner behind the HQ there, that laser beam was not in range to shoot it. So that was very lucky though. If he moves that a few tiles up, then it's a whole different story. That mega boosted laser beam would have killed all of my Zukas with 1 or 2 shots. But anyways, I didn't like that one heavy straying off ahead, so far ahead by himself. You can see the Zukas are trailing behind. So I was trying to prolong the smokes because I didn't want to sacrifice the smoke to save 1 heavy, but then I'm going to lose all the Zukas. And the Zukas really are the key to the win here. So anyways, reflare them as that smoke was running out, flare to the machine gun, throw some critters, shock and shock around, and right here it was just prey. There was 1 little heavy up in there in the top of the base, and I was trying to baby him up and keep him, keep him alive, because he was the one saving the Zukas from that rocket launcher in the top. So that was actually pretty lucky that he lasted long enough. And at this point, because I had pretty much all my Zukas, I think I only lost 1 Zuka on the way up to the HQ. And when you have all your Zukas blasting at the HQ, even if you have so many ice statues boosted, the Zukas can actually take it down. But if I lose maybe 10-20% of Zukas on the way up, then there's actually no way. Especially when they're all boosted. Look at all so many ice statues all shining away. It does look pretty sick though. Alright guys, I think that'll be it for now. I'm at 1312 victory points. Like I said, there's still a couple of bases. I don't know if I'll be able to beat them or not. I'll give them a try, but we'll see. Man, things are just so tough right now though. Even though I had a few wins, I still feel kind of like, ugh. You know what? And as a matter of fact, I feel like the harder and the higher I'm pushing, it just takes the fun out of the game for me. So it's not something I had expected. Actually, I really didn't. But anyways. I'm going to keep on trying little by little, as long as, I guess, I have to come to terms that you cannot go up in VP every single day. It would be nice if you can. Sometimes it'll probably be just 1 VP up, which is still good. I mean, we were, at 1304 yesterday? So 1312, I mean, up is still going up, so at least that's good. And that puts us probably the same ranking as yesterday. Yeah, 16 in the US. We'll need a couple more bases. 2 more bases, no, 3 more bases to get to number 15. So, well, 1 day at a time, we'll take it. We'll see how we go. All right, guys. So this will be a relatively, well, not short video. It's been running 20 minutes because I've been babbling for a while now. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to leave the extra statue here because it seems like I'm going to be needing it, and I think 5 boosted ice, is still good enough. So we'll see how that performs in the meantime. All right, guys. So thank you for watching again. Keep on booming, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night. Bye.